Hello everyone, so this is the Regents Questions solving videos. So today's topic is multiplication of powers. So I have selected six Regent questions, the past Regent questions, and I'll be solving these six questions and also showing you the concept that you need to know. Alright, so let's look at question number one. And the question number one says the expression 3 squared times 3 to the power 3 times 3 to the power 4 is equivalent to what? All right, so let's write this question quickly first. So you have 3 squared times 3 to the power 3 or 3 cubed and 3 4. So I think you all know the basic concept that if you have the same base, that means you can just add the power. So all bases, if you look at the base, it's just 3. That means you can just add the powers. So 2 plus 3 plus 4, which is 3 to the power 9. Okay? So what's the answer here? You can see this is option 3, 3 to the power 9. But why is that? Why we're adding power? So let me just quickly, I know you already know this, okay, but why is that? So let's look at a simple question. You have 3 square times 3 square. Okay? So 3 square actually means what? 3 times 3, which is 9, right? Another 3 square means 3 times 3, which is another 9. And 9 times 9 is 81. So 81 means what? How many times you're multiplying the 3? You multiply it 4 times. So that's why the power is 4. Okay, so that's the reason we are adding the powers, because we know that we are multiplying it 4 times. That's the reason we are adding it 4 times. Okay, so I think that explanation helps you to understand why you are adding powers when you're multiplying, right? Okay, so let's look at question number 2 now. Which expression represents 3x squared y to the power 4 times 4xy squared in simplest form? Alright, so let's look at this question. Okay, so where is this? So I have 3x squared y to the power 4, and I have 4xy squared. Alright, so let's look at this. So I have number parts and variable parts. I forgot to tell you that the rule for adding powers is not only true for numbers. So you can do 3 squared 3 squared is 3 to the power 4. You can also have variables. So you have the same variable, that means you can just add it and you'll get x to the power 4. So here I have both numbers and variables. So what should I do? So first of all, look at the number part. It's better if you do the number part first, because 3 times 4, you don't have to care about the bases because it's just two numbers. 3 times 4 is just 12. Alright, so let's take care of the number first, so we don't have to deal with them again. Okay, it's a good idea if you do number parts and then you do the variable parts. Now look at the variable parts. Remember, you're multiplying all this. Okay, the operation among all these numbers are simple multiplication. In multiplication, the order doesn't matter, so you can multiply whatever you want. Okay, so x to the power 2 and x just x. So remember, if it's x, it's just 1. How many x's you have? Just 1, right? This is 2, this is 1, that means you can write x to the power 3. And y, now look at y to the power 4 and y to the power 2, that means you have 4 and 2, which will give you 6. So 12, x3, y6, and if you look at this, and that's your option number 4. Good, okay, so we're done with question number 2. So let's look at question number 3 now. So question number 3, again, you have numbers and variables, but instead of numbers, simple numbers, we have fractions. So let's look at this. So I have 1/3 x squared y. It's asking what is the product. Remember, product means multiplication. I think you already know this. You're just multiplying this. So remember, I told it is a good idea to take care of a number part first. So I'm multiplying 1/3 and 1/6. So let's write this together and then write the variable part. Remember, we can do this because in multiplication, order doesn't matter. All are multiplied. So how do I multiply two fractions? So remember, this dot means multiplying, right? So you're multiplying 1 times 1 and 3 times 6. So 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 6 is 18. Okay, you're multiplying the denominators and you're multiplying the numerators. Okay, so this is 1 over 18. Now look at the variable parts. Do you have the same base? So you can see that x and x, so that is just 1. So that'll give you x to the power 3. Y, this is y1 and this is y3. That means I'll get y to the power 4. Alright? Now sometimes people get confused. This x3 is it multiplied with 18 or multiplied with 1. Right, remember, when you look at here, this x to the power 3 is actually divided by 1. Okay? If you just see the number x, you know that there is always a 1 divided by 1. Okay, so that means this x to the power 3 is not multiplied with 18, it's with 1. So if you multiply something with 1, what do you get? You get the same thing. You can have x to the power 3 y to the power 4 divided by 18, because 18 times 1, again you're multiplying fractions actually, that's why you got this. So now look at so this part you don't need to know because you'll not see this option, but I'm just telling you this might be useful sometimes. Okay, so let's look at this 1 over 18 and x to the power 3 and y to the power 4. So that's option number 4. Alright, so now let's look at question number 4. So now you'll see the question will get slightly trickier. So let's look at question number 4. The expression 2 cubed times 4 squared is equivalent to what? Alright, so let's write this expression for 2 to the power 3 and 4 to the power 2. So some students, what they do, they multiply 2 and 4, which is 8, and they'll just add 3 plus 2, which is 5. So can we do this? Remember, you have this option 3, but remember, you cannot add them. The basic concept is you can't add them and the base numbers are same. They're not same, so you cannot do this. Okay? You have to make sure the base numbers are same. And you can see the answer choice. You have 2 to the power 7, 2 to the power 12, 8 to the power 5, and 8 to the power 6. So it could be either 2 or 8. You don't know yet. So let's see. So 2 to the power 3. So can we simplify this? So let's try this. So 2 to the power 3 means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And 4 squared is simply 16. Alright, so 8 means 8 to the power 1, but 16 cannot be written as a power of 8, right? Because 8 times 8 is 64. So 8 doesn't work. So we have another base choice, which is 2. So let's see if we can do this. 8 means 2 to the power 3. I can do this. 16, can I write 16 as a power of 2? And multiply 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and that will give you 16. That means how many times you're multiplying 2? You're multiplying 4 times, so 2 to the power 4. Okay, so now you can see the base number is same. That means you can add them, and 2 to the power 7. Right, and you can see you have this choice 1 2 to the power 7. So that's the answer. So slightly tricky. So gotta make sure that the base number is same, even though they're not same. Try to convert them, okay, and see if you can get that right. All right, so that's question number 4. So we have 2 more questions. Question number 5, some tricky questions. So question number 5, the product of 6x to the power a and x. Remember, product means multiplying, so we're actually multiplying 6xa times x. So what should I do here? First of all, you have a 6, so cannot do anything with 6, just 6. Now you can see there are 2 base numbers. There are x means 1. This is x to the power a. So remember, even though you look at a variable and this is a number, but it's still the concept is the same. If the base numbers are same, you can add the powers. The powers can be a variable or a number. Okay, so a plus 1, a plus 1. This looks slightly odd, but still the concept is the same. But can we add a plus 1? We cannot. So the answer is 6x a plus 1. And if you look at this, that's option 2, 6x a plus 1. Okay, so that's question number 5. So be careful with this question. This is a good question. So let's look at the last question. So if a equals, so let's look at the last question. So if x equal 5 to the power a, then the value of 5x is what? All right, so for some student, this question might be a little confusing. So let's write this question. X equal 5a. If x equal 5a, this is given. If x equal 5a, what is the value of 5x? I need to find what is the value of 5x. But I have given x. The question is asking I have to find the value of 5x. So how can I get 5x? So the only way you can get 5x is if you multiply this with 5. So now if you multiply it 5, you'll get 5x. Now be careful, because you multiply the one side with 5, you have to do the same thing on the other side. Why is that? Because there is an equal sign. It means if you make a change on this side, you have to make the same changes on the other side. Alright, so 5x is just 5x. I cannot do anything here. But look at here. Oh, sorry, this a should be written as a power. This 5 means 5 to the power 1. Okay, there's always 1. Means there is only 1. 5, right? So again, the base numbers are the same, which is 5, and then a plus 1 is just a plus 1. Can you do anything else? You cannot do. So the value of 5x is 5 to the power a plus 1. And you can see that's the last option. Alright, so question number 4, 5, 6 are really important, so make sure you pay attention to this type of questions. Alright, so I hope this video is helpful and you now know how to multiply powers. And maybe if you get any question in Regents, you can easily answer them. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.